Meanwhile, Emerson College released some new national polling just moments ago. In a potential 2024 rematch, President Biden holds a 1-point edge over former President Trump, leading 43 to 42%. That is a statistical tie. 8% plan to vote for someone else, and 6% are undecided. Since last month, Trump has lost a couple of points, while Biden has gained 3 points. All of that, though, within the margin of error. Congressional Republicans, meanwhile, hold on to a 1-point lead over congressional Democrats on the generic ballot, 45% to 44%. That is unchanged from July. And the poll finds President Biden with 42% job approval. 51% of Americans disapprove in this poll, reflecting a 2-point increase in the president's approval and a 2-point decrease in his disapproval since last month. Also, according to a Gallup poll released yesterday, 44% of American adults approve of the job Biden is doing as president. That's up from a record low of 38% in July. The increase driven largely by independent voters, whose approval rose from 31% last month to 40% now. The president gets the highest marks in his handling of the coronavirus crisis and the environment, while his lowest approval comes on issues like abortion and the economy. Something to keep in mind, President Obama also had a 44% approval rate at this point in his presidency. Democrats lost 63 House seats the following election in what President Obama called a shellacking. So, Mike Barnicle, when you look inside these new numbers, President Biden holding steady, ticking up in some polls over the last few months or so, but perhaps not as much as he or the White House would like, given the legislative accomplishments that they're putting forward recently.
Yeah, no, certainly not, Willie, but those numbers will probably change. My thing is just observationally, and Claire, I want to know if you feel the same thing. You're there at home. You go out every day. You go grocery shopping, stuff like that. The volatility in the electorate is extraordinary, at least to me. I haven't seen it this volatile, this changing rapidly in a long, long time. And I think a lot of it has to do with what we've all experienced over the past few months. Inflation, grocery stores, charging incredible prices for meat and potatoes and things like that. And then the gas prices up, down, and everything like that. What's your view on the volatility and the impact it's having on not only polling, but on the candidates themselves?
Well, I think volatility is a much bigger deal today than it's been in the past, just because things have gotten so intense and so emotional around not just Donald Trump and his effort to give the back of his hand to a free and fair election in this country, but also over the issues that have surged to the front of everyone's mind over the last several months, especially around abortion rights in this country. But I want to make sure we point something out about this polling. First of all, I loved it, Willie, that you talked about the independents and what's going on with the independent voter. For people who are in tough elections, whether it's a swing district in the House or whether it's in Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or Nevada or Arizona, those are the voters that we need to be talking about and focusing on. Enthusiasm in the base is important for turnout, but in terms of persuasion, pulling those independent voters out of these polls and looking what's going on with those independent voters is really way more important than what the overall top lines of the nation are, because those get skewed by very Republican areas and very Democratic areas. And as we know, presidents get elected and power goes to one party or the other in Congress based on what those swing voters do in November. And that's where we really need to focus. That's why I think it's really important to know that Biden's approval rating has ticked up with those important voters to the people who are now out there trying to raise money and win elections.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, that was a big jump, too, of 9 points among independents, and that's exactly the kind of voter that Tim Ryan's talking to in Ohio, John Fetterman in Pennsylvania, Arizona. You can go down the list of states where independents will be crucial statewide.